February 15th and 16th, Monday and Tuesday. I'm smiling because the sun is in Aquarius and the moon is in Gemini. 2 planets in the same element, air. And what do we know about air? They're fast. They're airheads. They forget things. They're speedy. They're talkative. They have their minds going at the speed of light, and their mouth doesn't catch up to it till after they say it. How am I doing? Now, the good news is they're witty and they're funny and they love astrology. I knew someone like this who has passed away. He was so funny. I remember walking through the mist one day up in the mountains, and we were walking through the mist, and then he stopped and he went, "Oh, look, you missed." That was so funny when he said, or how about this one? I had just gotten on the train. We were in London and we were on the subway, and he looked at me and he said, "Were you looking in the mirror when you put your makeup on?" That's not funny. That is funny, though. Like some kind of one-liners that just come out of people's mouths where you're like, I'm not sure that was funny, but that was kind of strange. That's the nature of Aquarius and Gemini together. And what just happened was Mercury just shifted out of Capricorn over the last month, and now it too is in Aquarius. So the Sun and Mercury are both in Aquarius. Mercury is the most comfortable it can be in Aquarius. How it works in astrology is there are 10 planets and there's 12 signs. And all around the zodiac do those planets go. Right now, Mercury just went into the constellation of Aquarius. And it loves to be there. Why? Because Aquarians say the weirdest things at the most random times. They have these spontaneous humor. Was any of that funny at all? They kind of think they're funny, but they make up stuff. They went to a school called MSU. It's called Making Stuff Up. It's a university, only for an Aquarian, where they just embellish. And then Moon and Gemini goes, that is so funny. So if someone's born with wit, and they have Mercury in Aquarius, 1, they really do learn things quick. 2, they have license to be poetic and say anything they want. 3, they love astrology. Why? Because the more opportunities we have to think about the nature of the human psyche, for me, said the therapist, I love asking, why do people do what they do? And how do we have compassion? And what questions can I ask to understand what made you do that? Someone recently was super mean to me. And they said the most unbelievably harsh thing on an email. After 5 years of never hearing from her, she suddenly wrote this unbelievably mean email. And I wrote back, and her last accusation was that I was a disgrace to my career. And I wrote back and I said, guilty as charged, and so are you. We're all human. This is Aquarius Gemini. Let's speak to this unspeakable. We're all human. We all make mistakes. But the missing ingredient is, why can't we go face to face to each other and say, this really upset me? Or I really don't like you. Why do we talk behind people's backs? That's what these 2 signs are, air signs. They can talk. Be careful about gossip. Be careful what you say about people. And the most important thing as an astrologer that I can give to you is to have compassion, because every single one of us are human, quirky, and flawed. I don't know who made the design up, but we're not perfect. Have you noticed? We're perfectly imperfect. So I really wanted to say to that woman, and I did, and I felt so good about saying it, is I'm not alone. You're not alone. We're all in this together. And unfortunately, we don't have the communication skills. Aquarians would love to do this in the future. Where as soon as you had a mean thought about someone, the police would show up. And they'd have a little book and they'd say, what did you just think? Why don't you speak straight up to owning the part of you that is also human? And honoring the fact that all of us are doing the best we can. And you don't have to sit next to the people you don't like. Don't even call them. But just be aware that the humanitarian in all of us, or the Aquarian Gemini, who can laugh in the face of being mean, is what makes this planet doable. And that's why I'm here as an astrologer, is to remind you that everybody's in this together. And we're all doing the best we can. And if you can study astrology with Mercury in Aquarius and be that bright and be fascinated, I can help you change your point of view about you and about humanity. And then at least we can have fun while we're here, because this planet is a little quirky. Have you noticed? Astrology Answers brought you Debra Silverman to say to you, we're all in this together.